Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Tommy Bahama fragrances. I'm going to be going over 3 of the most popular ones and letting you know what I think about them and just whether you should check them out or not. So let's do that. So I've got 3 here. I've got St. Barts, I've got St. Kitts, and then Martinique. No Saint here. So the reason I picked these is because these are the 3 fragrances you're most likely to run into if you go to TJ Maxx or Ross's or Marshall's or any of those cheap stores and you're looking for an inexpensive summertime fragrance. Also at discounters, they cost next to nothing. So if you're gonna place an order and you're thinking about throwing one of these in there, you need to know which one to do. Now there's other fragrances that Tommy Bahama has out there in this line. There's South Seas. There's Very Cool, great name by the way, Very Cool. And then Tommy Bahama for men. It just says Tommy Bahama, but same bottle style. Those ones don't pop up as much. Very Cool you might find sometimes, but usually it's the ladies version and you don't want to buy that most likely, unless you're buying it for your significant other or maybe sister or something. So these are the 3 you're most likely gonna find. So let's go ahead and talk about these fragrances, these wonderful fragrances. So St. Barts is the one we'll start with. This is the one that most people know about when it comes to Tommy Bahama. The reason for that is because for the longest time, people have pitched this as an alternative to Virgin Island Water by Creed, which is it's up here. So yeah, ignore my shorts, they're Rick and Morty. Yeah, so Virgin Island Water by Creed. This is way more expensive than the Tommy Bahama. It's gonna run you at discounters probably $150 at least. I don't know, it's been a while since I've checked, but something around there. So a lot of people thought to themselves, oh man, I'm gonna get St. Bart's because it's like Virgin Island Water, but cheaper, right? This is a win-win situation. It doesn't cost as much, it smells the same, sign me up. Now it's got a similar feel to Virgin Island Water, but it doesn't smell the same. And when I say similar feel, I mean it's gonna give you this tropical kind of getaway feeling, you know, a little bit boozy. There's lime, there's driftwood, stuff like that. So it shares similarities with Virgin Island Water, but if you spray them on side by side, they're not the same. Now that being said, if you want something that's gonna put you in that same frame of mind, absolutely St. Bart's will do that. And I would say of these 3 fragrances, St. Bart's for me is the best one for a vacation type setting. If I'm just chilling, if I'm like by the pool or at the beach or something like that, or I'm going away on a holiday, as I think Europeans say, right? Going on holiday. Yeah, St. Bart's would be the one I go with. Now the performance sucks. It's not great, but it's an eau de cologne, so that's expected. I mean, you don't really buy it and expect that, you know, you spent $15 or $20 on an eau de cologne and it's gonna last for 12 hours. If you expect that, that's on you. Adjust your expectations, man. The scent itself is nice. It's the first of the Tommy Bahamas that I bought myself. Cap is cheap, but you know, it's got a small rope around it, so that's something. I don't know. Would that be considered attention to detail or putting lipstick on a pig? I'm not sure. It is sea salty. It's got a tropical citrus vibe to it because there's also guava in there, so that's where you're gonna get a bit of that tropical vibe. There's agave and tequila in there, kind of a redundant note structure because you need agave to make tequila, but they're not technically the same thing. So you got that. And I think it's perfect for daytime situations. Just like I said, expect it to last maybe 3-4 hours tops. You can spray it on 35 times if you want, doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna get choked out by that. Nobody's gonna be offended by it. It's nice. Of these 3, that would probably be my favorite as of right now. Next up, we'll go to St. Kitts. This one has a nice matte finish on the bottle. It's got a rubberized feel too. When you hold it, it feels good in the hand. One thing that I noticed with my bottle, and this could just be me, is part of the paint has flecked off. It doesn't really matter, but it doesn't look quite as nice now. So I think that this paint on here is a little bit fragile compared to the other just straight up glass bottles. And maybe if this gets, you know, dinged on something a little bit, the paint's just gonna shoot off. Cap, the same as on St. Bart's, but this time, no rope. The fragrance itself has star fruit as one of the main notes here. So it's It's going to be a little bit different than the other two fragrances. The other two fragrances are more standard, we'll say, for a summertime scent because they've got that citrus popping. But here, you're going to get star fruit. Smells nice though. I do like it. And there is a bit of citrus. There's mandarin orange. There's also aquatic notes. There's driftwood in here. Ambergris, I believe, one of the notes. It's definitely not real ambergris though. Roxon, but that's okay. We'll keep that between us, Tommy Bahama, and also everybody else that just watched this video. St. Kitts, I will say, caught me by surprise the first time I smelled it because I smelled it at a Belk. And obviously I didn't buy it there because if you pay full retail for Tommy Bahama, you just got screwed. You just played yourself. You should buy it online. But I really liked it. I dug it. And so I went online and I bought this off eBay, actually. Somebody had it on there for a good price. It wasn't at discounters yet, and that's where I got my bottle. The star fruit is gonna give it a little bit of a different vibe. It's gonna make it smell slightly more unisex than the other two fragrances, in my opinion. Some people will compare it to Versace Man Eau Fraiche. Really though, that's because of the star fruit. They don't actually smell super similar. It's just Versace Man Eau Fraiche has star fruit as one of its main notes, and so people will draw that comparison. They'll be like, oh, star fruit here, star fruit there. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, must smell the same. Now, I'm not saying that you won't get any similarities between the two fragrances, because you could, again, shared notes and all that stuff, but don't go into this expecting St. Kitts to be, you know, just like Versace Man Eau Fraiche. That's all I'm saying. Some people actually find this similar to Premium Blend from Original Penguin. Between those two fragrances, I'd rather have this one. It's a solid release. I do like it for summertime. It's maybe not as refreshing as the other two fragrances because it has this sort of slight sweetness to it that comes across a little bit heavier than the other two fragrances. Now, I'm not saying that the fragrance itself is heavy. You know, this is not a beast mode fragrance. Again, dealing with eau de colognes here. But when you compare it to the other two side by side, the sweetness definitely shines through in St. Kitts more than the others. And then last up, Martinique. And I've got a little tiny 50 ml bottle. It looks weird because we got these big ones and this stupid little one. But at the time that I bought this was the only size they had, and it was at TJ Maxx. So, I mean, you take what you can get when you're there, right? Martinique, of the three, I would say is the one that smells the most like a standard summertime scent for dudes. It smells good. It smells like you stepped out of the shower and you're clean. You just soaped off with some nice shower gel, whatever. And you stepped out of the shower and you go about your day. That's kind of how Martinique smells. There's water, lavender, musk, bergamot, and I would say that's why Martinique of these three is the one that gets talked about the least. And I just bumped you, sorry about that. So Martinique smells good, usable, easy to wear. It's pleasant. It's just the least memorable of the three. So I can spray Martinique on right now, you know, boom, boom, give it a smell. And yeah, it's nice. But 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour from now, you know, days from now, I'm not really gonna remember, oh, that's Martinique. It's not that kind of fragrance. It's not the type of fragrance where you walk by somebody and you catch a whiff and you're like, I know what that is. It's not that type. It's the type of scent you smell and you go, yeah. I know this. I know I've smelled it somewhere, but where? It's that kind of fragrance. And that may not be important to you whatsoever, but to some people it is. You know, some people like to have that kind of fragrance where when you smell it, unmistakable, you know it. Well, if you've smelled it before, you know it. Other people don't care. They'd rather just kind of blend in, have something fresh, pleasant, easy to pull off, you know, the kind of scent that everybody's gonna like. Maybe nobody's gonna love, but everybody's gonna like. That's Martinique. Really though, you can't go wrong with any of these because they're cheap. They cost next to nothing. If you go to a discounter and they're running, for some reason, $35 or $40, do not buy it. You're getting hosed. I mean, even if these get discontinued and the price goes up, I still wouldn't pay that price. These are the type of scents that you pick up $20, $25, and then you're in a good mood. You're feeling nice. Yeah, not bad. Nice little summer cheapie. Spray it on, go about your day. Don't worry about it. You know, spray it 46 times, who cares? But if you pay more than that, it's no longer a fun time. I don't know. It's like going to an arcade or something, and they say, yeah, free play, all you want, $10. You say, hey, cool. Yeah, I'll do that. And you play however much you want. Now, if you go to that same arcade and they're like, hey, free play, all you want, $60. Suddenly, not such a good value proposition. I don't really know what that has to do with these fragrances, but I'm just saying if you get it for a good price, then the deal is solid and you feel good. If you pay too much, not solid, you feel bad. That's pretty simple. We can all understand that. So there we go. 3 super cheap fragrances from Tommy Bahama. Of the 3, if I could have only one, it would be St. Bart's. After St. Bart's, I would say it would be St. Kitts, and then it would be Martinique. And I don't think Martinique is bad, but as I mentioned before, it's a different kind of thing. It's a different kind of animal. Whereas St. Bart's and St. Kitts, you can smell them and be like, oh, I think that's the Tommy Bahama. Martinique is more just kind of blending in, you know, hanging out with the crowd. It's like a car painted silver, you know, it just melds with everything else. And sometimes you want that. Sometimes you want that type of scent, right? Or car. And sometimes you want a car that's painted orange. Or maybe that's just me. All right, that's it for this edition of Gents Extra Gents, whatever, who cares? I'll see you later with another fragrance video. Stay safe out there.